Good evening. It's In the Paint, the realest show in sports. I'm your host, the creator, Mac611, aka Mark A. Cunningham. I got my brother Dom riding with me, R. Jones, Angus Black, Rodney Jones, aka the angriest black man in America. Can't be with us tonight because he's sitting somewhere hating, being angry. What's up, Dom?
Nothing. R's doing R things, huh?
Yeah, he's doing odd things. He's doing odd things. A lot is going on in the NBA world.
Yes.
We want to talk about that trade.
You know what, Mac? I'm to the point now where hating and complaining. I'm almost to the point. No, I am to the point where it is what it is. I mean, where can you boycott an organization and get rewarded for it? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, God bless him. He got his way.
Right.
What?
Brooklyn.
I'll tell you who they're gonna miss. They're gonna miss LeVert.
Of course.
Indiana hit pay dirt. I thought LeVert was going to Houston.
Right.
But he went to Indiana. Probably
because Houston turned around and traded him to Indiana.
Yeah.
The Brooklyn Nets have traded for James Harden, who earlier this week he made disparaging comments that it was crazy over there. He didn't see Houston going anywhere, so they sent him home, and then they made the trade.
Yeah, you saw that coming.
Yeah. In the trade, the Nets gave up Karis LeVert. They gave up Jared Allen. They gave up draft picks and received lesser draft picks. They gave up 3 number ones?
Or 4. 3 or 4.
Yeah, I don't think they, on surface, you're getting a former MVP, you're getting a scoring champion, you're getting one of the James Harden is a walking bucket. I, however, do not see him meshing with what the Nets have.
Here's the funny thing, Mark. He's leaving a team who had a first-time coach.
Right.
Joining a team with a first-time coach.
Right.
So where's the power? You know, I don't get it. But you know, there's some Sixers fans that are pretty happy because that puppy has been put to bed. A lot of them didn't want the Harden fiasco, and
right.
Is it a good backup plan for the Nets if Kyrie Irving decides not to play? Yeah.
Yeah, and if Kyrie Irving has an injury history. So for me, we were going to talk about Kyrie Irving and the stuff he's pulled this week.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure we will.
He's missing 5 games. He said it was for personal reasons. He took personal time off. Understandable, but dude, then you were seen partying. It's a bad look.
So that means he comes back, according to the NBA, he's got to go. He's got to miss 10 days for the COVID protocol.
Right.
So that's umpteen games and then umpteen.
Wow. Right. And they're looking into the video because they don't know when it was shot. They don't know if it was something old or if that was recent because his father and his sister's birthday were this week. So, me and R were going back and forth with Chandler. And I'm like, Chandler, there's no defense for him.
No, not anymore.
As you say, he's sucking the air out of the room. And he's made it all about him. And getting to the coach, he's already shown that he has no respect for Steve Nash. He's done it with comments. He's done it with these actions, and it's Steve Nash has to put his foot down and have a sit down with this guy. Listen, are you buying into what I'm teaching here? Are you going to buy into this culture, or, you know?
But take it one step further, Mark. It's not only Steve Nash; it's the GM, the owner. All of these guys that bought into will forget his past, will forget his, non-team chemistry on 2 other teams.
Right.
We're gonna overlook all of that. We love his talent.
Yeah.
And we're willing to pay him $33 million a year. So it ain't just Steve Nash. It could have been Mark Cunningham coaching this year. It was still going to happen.
Right.
That's like throwing dirt in these people's faces, invested all this money. And we've seen this movie before. I mean, I'm not bashing Chandler. I mean, there comes a time where you just got to say, okay, the defense gloves got to come off. I mean, he is creating this. Let's not get it twisted. For whatever his reasons are, he still has a job. Me and you couldn't do that. Maybe we'll get a personal day, take a couple of days leave, go do what we got to do. But you seen the new NBA protocols when you're at home, you got to stay in the house. You can't mingle. On the road, you got to stay in your hotel. Can't mingle. After the games, elbow, fist pump, no hugging. So now does he get an alibi because he did this before the new rules?
Right. Is it in part because of the video that they saw? Did they sit down and say, oh, well, dang, James Harden went out partying. This guy went out and had a party with his family. Dom, we see you ready to come in? I'm going to add you. What's up, Dom?
The other Donnie.
What up? Y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We're talking about the trade for James Harden to the Brooklyn Nets. What are your initial thoughts?
I was shocked.
Right.
I mean, this is unbelievable, but I'm just gonna sit back and watch, man, see how this shit gonna play out. Straight up, I think it was weak as hell to do though.
On the Nets part?
No, James Harden part.
Oh, you mean the stuff he pulled earlier today and yesterday?
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out why would the Nets pull the trigger so quick? Like they didn't want to try to see what's going to happen with just KD and Kyrie first because we don't know how this Corona gonna look.
Right. Also, also with the short, didn't really have a preseason. I've heard that Steve Nash hasn't even put in his offense yet.
Right. So I don't know why would they do this. I mean, you can't say ticket sales and shit like that. Like nobody's going to these games, so I don't understand it. But if this is what they want, hey, they got it.
Listen, you got a new owner who wants to make a splash, so he got the three of the biggest names, 3 of the best players in the NBA. The GM or president, Marks, has said he wasn't going to mortgage the future to make any moves like this. But what are you going to do?
In that case, Mark, I'm gonna stick to what I normally say. The draft picks are a roll of the dice.
Right.
And I'm by no means defending James Harden, but I'll tell you what. If you're an owner and you're a team and you have the opportunity to get a scorer like that,
yeah, you take
and
it.
all your bankrolling is some maybe prospects. The kids that they're putting out there, they're in the 11th grade, 10th grade in high school. They didn't even go to college yet. So I was never a big proponent in giving up draft picks, or not giving up draft picks, I should say, for a star.
Right.
And that's where a lot of people get it a little twisted. Let's be honest, we may not like what he did. Most of us probably don't.
Right.
But you can't knock the Nets. It's a great insurance policy for the Nets. I'll tell you that. In case this Kyrie Irving thing blows up. Hey.
Bishop, what's up, brother?
What's going on, fellas? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, Mr.
Bishop. Your thoughts on the Brooklyn Nets trade for James Harden?
So, I mean, for what they had to give up, I mean, it's a win for them. They gave up Karis LeVert, who they were going to use in a limited fashion anyway.
True.
And the only bad part of that trade to me was giving up the big man, the young big man. Because where you going to get another young big man? Because DeAndre Jordan is going to get hurt, and he don't need the ball. He don't cry for the ball. You just throw him a few oops, and he gonna block shots and get rebounds for you. It works out great for Houston because they got Oladipo out of the deal. So
John Wall's been playing good.
Yeah, but they get Oladipo, and if he can stay healthy, that gives them a solid, rotation. That gives them a solid rotation. And LeVert, it's like you
in Indiana.
I guess is he in Indiana?
He went to Indiana.
Yeah, so I mean, it gives him an opportunity to actually get some minutes and show what he can really do. Right. Being the top, being on everybody's whiteboard each night, we're gonna really get to see what he's made out of.
Right. He can step in Indiana and be a starter.
Yeah, and Jared Allen is like
you'll get
that starting spot in Cleveland. You'll get that starting spot in Cleveland. It's not like he gonna do the same thing that he was doing in New Jersey and Cleveland, except maybe more.
Right. Well, they sent Jared Allen to Cleveland, which is purgatory, because Cleveland really ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I
mean, I like the two young guards, but Cleveland is a team that, unless they got a superstar, they aren't going anywhere.
Well, maybe that might tip them. Maybe that might happen having a big man down there. Maybe that might tip them.
They got too many big men.
Yeah,
JaVale McGee and
Larry Nance. Larry Nance Jr. They still got Kevin Love.
Don't they got Drummond?
Yeah, they got
Andre Drummond also.
Drummond and Jared Allen. Yeah, that sucks for him.
Maybe Cleveland makes another trade because Drummond is getting paid ridiculous money. Yeah,
Drummond needs to go. Drummond, to me, like Washington is starving for like a big man. They
especially didn't their big man get hurt?
Yeah, Washington.
Yep.
Yeah,
they just got a bunch of forwards. Like I watched their games. They just got a bunch of forwards. Like they don't really have any big men. Like Brian is not a big man. He's a forward playing a big man spot. They need like a big, like somebody that's gonna deter people from driving to the basket because they play no defense. They get all them forwards. They get no rebounds.
Right. My brother Carl said Durant is 32 years old. Harden is 31. Brooklyn is going all in for the next 2 years, and if Kyrie is being mental, he can still be traded for pieces you need. What do y'all think of that idea?
Well, I say get rid of him. Get rid of Kyrie, man. Because I don't like people like Kyrie. Like seriously, like I just don't like them type of people. Think they know everything. You may be special because you know how to handle the ball. You won a championship, but you need to calm down, man, and experience life more. He's only in his 20s,
right?
So, I mean, if he don't want to play basketball, just start wasting people's time. This is why I say Adam Silver is soft on these players and the organization. If I was the Brooklyn Nets, I'd say, look, Kyrie, go take a year off, man. Clear your mind. Just clear your mind.
Right.
Because it's unnecessary bullshit. Seriously. Y'all paying these people too much fucking money. And now they just act like they can do what the fuck they want to do and say what the fuck they want to say. So
Well,
just please
But
go somewhere.
this
I
has
really
been
need
the
to go
elephant in the
somewhere.
room for how long? First of all, I want to say hi to Carl. I finally seen his name because I seen him.
On
I
Twitter.
guess follow each other on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
want to
he's
say
been
hi
on
to
with
my
us
boy
once
Carl.
or twice.
Oh, but you know what Dominic's saying? Dominic, it's. Come on, guys. This didn't happen yesterday. This has been what it is. And again, I go back to are some fans get fed up? There's a
Right.
reason the NBA's ratings have been dropping for the last 7-8 years. It wasn't about bubble. It wasn't about COVID. We're talking 7-8 years ago. It wasn't politically generated, motivated. There's something that is making their ratings drop. Now, some slick people will tell you, well, last year, not X amount of people on the East Coast were watching the Lakers because LeBron has been a big ticket when it comes to ratings. So he's in LA. But again, we're going back 7-8 years, guys. We have to dig deep to come up with many excuses. But is it what Dominic's talking about?
Right.
Well,
Enough is enough.
part of that reason, I believe, is because if you look at the professional sports as a whole, the last maybe like 5 to 10 years, like they've been monetizing like everything. I remember when you were able to watch certain games on TV, and then they changed it to where like you can only get local games and everything out of your geographical area. You got to pay to watch it. So everything has become like you got to pay to watch it. You got to subscribe to watch the games. So it's like you start monetizing everything and making everything about like money as opposed to like the game. Then you're gonna lose some fanship because people don't have that disposable income to pay for a subscription. You know what I mean? To pay that $300 for the NBA season pass or whatever it is. I don't have that money to pay that. So you're gonna lose some viewership over that. As far as
The
like Kyrie
elephant.
goes, yeah.
I was going to say, Bishop, what you're saying, the elephant in the room still is ABC, ESPN, and TNT.
Yeah.
That's where they're getting the bulk of their ratings. When you buy into the league pass, okay, you tap into a game with the Nuggets and the Sixers.
Yeah.
That's just going to whoever's broadcast that is. So that's going to be, I hate to say minimal because of what you're saying, Bishop. I've been a subscriber for this for 10 years now. So I'm really not helping ESPN, ABC. I'm just clicking and going through NBA 1, 2, 3, just floating around every game. But it's the major networks and the primetime games that they're concentrating on. Matter of fact, I think I brought this up once before. TNT has been going downhill for 7 years from a 28 to 31%. ESPN has clocked out basically last year before the bubble at a negative 33%. So this ladder has been going up and up. And I'm just throwing that out there, guys. Could it be what Dominic's saying? These guys with this holier than thou attitude and don't want to do this, don't want to do that. And people are getting turned off, especially now, guys. Come on. We got heads talking about if they cancel the season, people are going to lose money. Hold up.
And another thing, too, though.
I don't think nobody wants to hear that right now.
Yeah, but it's another thing, too. Like, I was watching D'Angelo Russell interview, and I don't understand why the person asked him about Capitol Hill. Like, why the fuck is you asking him about that? Keep it basketball. And if you know D'Angelo Russell is not one of those type of people, then don't fucking ask him the question. That shit gets annoying, and it's really starting to piss me off.
Well, the simple response to that is no comment.
Yeah,
right. But
no, yeah, but
to Dominic's point, not to cut him off because he made me think. To Dominic's point, that's another thing. Maybe people are getting sick and tired of. Hence the reason ESPN's ratings have gone down, not just with their basketball. Nobody's saying you can't mix politics, this, that, with sports. Hey, whatever floats your boat. But the average sports fan wants to use that as a getaway from all this nonsense. But then you push it back in their face. And people are tuning out, man. Come on. And this just didn't happen 2 years ago. We're talking 7
Athletes
years,
didn't do
guys.
that, though. Athletes didn't do that, though. The asshole
I'm
in the
not
White
saying
House
they did it.
The
but
asshole
we're
in the White
talking,
House did that.
We're talking about what we could say that, Bishop, but I'm not defending nobody. We could say that. But I'm going back longer than 4 years. So what was the issue then?
It was.
We're just talking straight up ratings. I'm just asking the question. We can blame somebody. That's been going on for far too long. We'll pick political. Let me finish, Bishop. We'll pick political sides depending on which way the wind is blowing. I get it. I do. But we're talking straight up sports now. Some people, maybe Dominic, wants to watch the game. He don't want to hear all that other nonsense. He don't want to hear all these outtakes.
Yeah, because listen, if it was LeBron James, I understand why you asked LeBron that, right? This is D'Angelo Russell. Why the hell is you asking him that? That's what pisses me off.
Well, you know what, Dom? That's to push a narrative and to try to sort of catch D'Angelo out there, but he didn't give him a typical answer. Call in the chat. Right. Call in the chat room. He said, but should the NBA flex games like the NFL, meaning you had a game and a star player is hurt or not playing, so you show another game and the game's being called remotely anyways?
Carl brings up a great point that people have brought up before, Mark. With this, let's get off of politics. Let's get off of with the load management. Okay, we're not just talking broadcasting games. We're talking about Mark and Dominic from now LA decide to invest their money to see said team play. And now said teams got umpteen players sitting out with this load management stuff.
Right. So especially if it's the Tuesday night main attraction game. Go ahead, Dom.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Right.
Those are your prime time games. And you got, the Dominics in North Carolina sitting out. And this happened before COVID, guys. This was when people were going to the games. Let's not even get into ratings. We're talking about straight up cash out of somebody's pocket. I'm going to see Mark Cunningham play. Oh, my bad. He's on a load management day.
Hey, that happened to me last year. I'm in New Orleans. I want to see the Houston Rockets play against the Pelicans. Well, at the last fucking minute, Harden and Westbrook don't want to fucking play. And this is why I say Adam Silver is fucking soft. Because why else you letting this continuously go on, dude?
Right. Right, Dom. And then you had last week, Kawhi Leonard has said, I'm ready to play back-to-backs. And Kevin Durant also, I'm ready to play back-to-back games. No, you're not.
Right. And see, this is why I didn't, when Pop and Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili was basically going at Kawhi Leonard, I completely understood them because, dude, listen, if you don't want to play, you don't need to get paid that day. It's just that simple.
Regular
job. Like, what are we talking about? And Kawhi Leonard did this his whole entire career, basically. Now he wants to play consistently. Nah, man. That's why I don't believe in dude. That's why I'm always gonna talk shit about him. I don't care about his little championships he won. Dude, you play half of the season.
The one thing we could say about Kevin Durant, they could be playing a game on 125th Street. He's going to go out and play. That's the one thing we can't say. We could talk about his Twitter accounts and whatever, but when it comes to playing ball, we can't question that. And with the Kawhi thing, and I hear what Dominic's saying, but let's rewind this tape a little bit. Who invented all of this stuff?
Pop.
San Antonio. Yeah, sending people home on the road so they'll be there when they get back to San Antonio in 3-4 days. Remember that? And that's when the NBA started to say, okay, we're going to start fining people. And what did they do? They sucked up the fine. but they still didn't play. So then
Right.
the NBA, as Dominic would say, with their weak behavior, said, well, you know what? We can't beat this. So we'll let them invent this load management game. So what did you really accomplish?
Yeah, they came up with a new term, load management.
Yeah, we call it load management. They get how many days off. This ain't baseball, guys, where they're playing 6 out of 7 days of the week. You know, come on. They play 48 minutes a night, and you need 2 load management days. We can't question Durant with that one, guys. Trust me. I always like Kevin Durant. I don't care if he plays for the Nets. I don't care about his burner account. I like the way he plays basketball. And that's what I'm looking for. When I watch a basketball game, I want to see basketball. You can't knock him for that, guys.
No. Kevin Durant, listen, he's a baller. He's one of the best players in the league. You see, he's come back and he looks almost the same, you know. He's come back.
That's right.
He returned.
I've come back.
And not to cut R off, but speaking of Kevin Durant, 24 points in 24 minutes, back to back.
I hear background noise.
Sorry about that. That was me, my brother. My bad.
Yeah.
Did you hear that, Mark? Durant on the back to back, 24 minutes, 24 points.
Durant is always going to get buckets. Durant is always going to get buckets. That's a good. And I think part of what the issue is that throughout his net tenure here, I think all these guys got to realize it's got to go through Kevin Durant. Like if you guys want to be successful, it's got to go through him, and then everybody else eats off of him. Not like it goes to Kyrie. It's got to go through Kevin Durant because every single night he steps on the court, that guy's going to give you buckets.
Bishop Harden and Kyrie like to dribble, and dribble some more. So they have to change.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, part of what I think was the issue where Kyrie is taking mental health days and all of that stuff. Number one is they probably had the discussion and he knew Harden was going to be coming. And he didn't want that, so he's pouting. Number two, when I watch all of those Nets games, it's like, yo, Kyrie is taking like most of the shots. He's taking the lion's share of the shots, and Kevin Durant is getting his buckets off of just like being efficient. Like
just 1-on-1.
Like
again, fellas, the ball is in Kyrie's hands. When has he ever played differently?
When he played with LeBron,
a little bit, but Boston.
Kyrie can only play with LeBron.
He dribbled and shot, and that's what he does.
But when LeBron was there, when he played with LeBron held the ball. LeBron created for everybody, and then it was like the third quarter when LeBron would go out that Kyrie could do whatever he wanted, and sometimes in the fourth quarter he could do whatever he wanted to do because the game was probably already in hand. But Kyrie is like a lot of times.
That's because LeBron had that talk with him. Listen, man, you're not doing that crap.
Right.
It goes here.
Oh man,
they didn't have that talk in Boston. Let me let my co-host.
It's all good, brother.
What do you think of this trade?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say some stuff that's gonna just infuriate a lot of people tonight. One, me being a fan of the Brooklyn Nets, I'm loving it. Now, I know that the Bishop and we have these exchanges online, which I find always entertaining and amusing. Always, I love it. I love getting into stuff like that with the brother. Hey, how you doing? I see you, Bishop. How you doing, man? So you made an appearance officially when we broached this subject, huh?
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I want you to see
exactly. I see that. I guess I should be scared or whatever. But see, here's the thing. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love this trade. I would have loved it even more if somehow Kyrie Irving was involved in leaving. That would have made it even more better for me. But I'm not mad, and I do understand the issues and the problems you're talking about. I can't stand when you call them the Brooklyn novellas. I hate that.
I love it.
Understand? I hate that. That just annoys the hell out of me. I can't stand that. I just want to reach through the screen and like choke you for coming up with that terminology.
I sense that.
I can't stand that. But I'm just saying, I love it. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, my thing is you're getting a all-world player, well, at least in this generation, in James Harden, combining him with KD. Again, the Kyrie factor, I understand. I get it. I can't stand him. Again, that's why I wished that he could have left, and bringing Harden here. That's what I was. Remember, I kind of approached this before, and for some reason, I don't know if the numbers worked or whatever the case may have been, but a lot of people were like, "This not gonna happen." I wish it would have, And there's still some type of hope that they could actually get rid of Irving. He might, and Dom.
He might retire.
Yeah, he might
retire.
I think Dom from Chi that now relocated in California. He had brought up that point. I saw the whole thread. Because what Kyrie did was just ridiculous. It's stupid at this time. You understand what's going on and whatnot. It's dumb. You understand? So he might either get turned off or retired. He might get suspended. So I understand why this move was made. So for everybody that's knocking it, you gotta be a little bit open minded and take a look at the other side too. You understand the positive? Because if it works out, this team can actually rep the East. You understand? Have a legit wait, hold on, a legit shot. Okay, and when I'm sorry, because they're deep. You have to remember that too. You got Joe Harris, you got the guy Shamet, you got Dinwiddie's injured. I get that. I hated to lose Karis LeVert, but the bottom line, the team is deep. It is. Now, go ahead with your exasperation, Sir Bishop.
So just to understand, like the Nets are shitty on defense before they got James Harden.
Yep.
Okay, granted.
So now
look at the league. Is the league really a defensive league?
No. So now you get James Harden. You get rid of the only real defensive presence that you had down low with the young dude, and it's like Kyrie plays no D. He'll come back. He's pouting because they got somebody else in the sandbox. He's pouting about it. But if you remember,
all right,
he's got to share his toys. He's got to share his toys. If you can remember when they first signed, and the Bishop told you that it wasn't going to work because of the personalities, you guys were like, "Oh, well, you don't know," blah blah blah. And it's like, yo, so said, so done. And again, it's like when these guys are talking about, like, Kyrie is talking about he wants to win. Harden is talking about he wants to win. It's like, yo, these guys, they don't even know what that means. They just want, when they saying they want to win, that just means they want things to go their way. That's all that means.
Yes, I agree.
That's all that means. And it's like, again, you had a situation. It's like I gotta even question like KD. You had a situation where you were in Golden State and you were winning. You were winning. You were winning championships. You were playing for championships, and you left that situation to come to uncertainty. But yet you're saying you want to win.
Well, you heard what he said. He said, "Yo, I didn't feel like I was part of the team."
Yeah, exactly. So why wouldn't he move?
But hold on. Let me finish on that. I don't feel like I'm part of the team. But you just won a championship. You just won 2, actually.
Right.
You are part of the team. You became a big part of the team. And again, he made a soft move in going there because he didn't want to take the fire that comes with being the leader and the man. So you go to Golden State. You don't have to be the man because Steph Curry is the man. And Draymond Green is your enforcer. So all you got to do is play.
I'm going to go back to
that.
2 quick
things. Hold on. And he didn't like it.
Hurt, Mark. His feelings were hurt,
and he didn't like it when Draymond Green called him a bitch ass.
Again, his feelings were hurt. So if your feelings are hurt, you're not feeling comfortable.
He said,
you're not part of the team.
Right. So then he said, you know what? I'm going to leave. I want my own team. We go to Kyrie Irving. Kyrie felt that he wanted to lead a team. He couldn't do that with LeBron because LeBron is the leader, and yeah, you have to defer to LeBron. I'm sorry, Kyrie, but you have to. Your record in Cleveland before that was atrocious. So you go to Boston, and they already got a team, and you come in the locker room and you mess that up because you want to be the leader, and they looking at you like, "We what, bro? What are you talking about? We good." And he leaves there, and he comes here, and they have a 15-18 record with him.
You know what? Let me.
I will go back to things.
Okay.
What R said, I love the way R referenced that they have a great chance. They do. And R missed the beginning. If you have a chance to get a Harden, then why not? But going to the Kevin Durant thing, I don't want to sound like Kevin Durant's lawyer because I've echoed this a million times on this show right here. Let's not get it twisted. Draymond Green might have called him a bitch, but your bitch ass won 73 games and lost a championship to a team that could have possibly beat you the year before because you the Met. Love and Irvin's out. They lose. Love and Irvin comes back. They win. And you won 73 games. Did you lose a chip after Durant got there? No. So call me whatever you want.
Well, no. You know what? Draymond Green is a bitch ass because you the dude that went in the parking lot. Yo, you need to come here. You need to come here.
Remember that?
Yeah. On the phone. You coming, right, KD? You coming.
That's not even so. When you look back at that, it's kind of like in the heat of the moment during the game, things were said. You know what I'm saying? Things were said, and you still. It's like, dude, like you might have said something to him, or you can't shoot, or you not shit, or give me the ball, or whatever. But you still holding on to that one comment that Draymond Green made, and it's like again, you don't feel like you're part of the team. Right. Dude, you are finals MVP for those two championships.
Right. You are part of the team.
Doesn't matter.
But
I
will leave.
Doesn't matter.
But I'll leave the Durant combo. I'll leave the Durant combo with this. Are the Nets better than Golden State?
Right now, yeah.
Yep.
They would have been right now if Golden State had Thompson. The Nets would have still been better than Golden State.
See,
I don't want to sound like Durant's lawyer, but let's just keep it a buck, as the young kids say. They won a chip, lost a chip, didn't lose a chip when they had Durant. Call me what you want.
Can I just address something real quick? Our brother called Bristol, and what's up? Thank you for being in the chat room with us tonight. Also, Ronan Black, thanks a lot. I had said what I said, and Carl was saying that, that they lost their depth. You understand what I'm saying? But
a little, yes.
I kind of disagree a little bit. I understand Allen and LeVert are gone, but who else is they losing that deal? Player-wise. Who?
Jared Allen.
Who?
Jared Allen.
That's what I said. Allen. I said Allen and LeVert.
Yeah, big parts of their rotation.
They're big parts of their rotation, but they still are somewhat deep.
That French
dude.
He said that. He said that with his
dude. Yeah, that French dude. Exactly. Yeah. What's wrong with him?
No,
what's wrong with him?
Didn't they lose him?
What French dude?
Whatever.
Huh?
They lost a European. I know that. They traded a European, but he wasn't playing that much.
Exactly. So he was like a non-factor, pretty much.
Yeah,
and they lost draft capital.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about draft. I'm talking about players.
At the end of the day,
I'm talking about bodies that are out there. I'm not talking about draft.
At the end of the day, yes, you can say all of that. Yeah, the Nets this, the Nets that. At the end of the day,
I am going to say it.
You saw the picture I sent you.
Whatever. Right back at you, buddy. I saw the picture. I was like, I just shrugged that shit off. I'm like, get out of here with that nonsense, dude. You're mad. You are an angry orange and blue fan. I get it. Okay, just step on. Just cross over. Come cross town. You'll be all right. Come cross town.
That ain't happening.
Come cross town. You'll be okay. Get with a winner. Get with a winner. Get with a winner. Come cross town. Okay, stop your nonsense. You are jaded.
I'm gonna send you 5 more monkey pictures.
You are officially jaded. I understand. I get it. Because I'm part-time psychologist. I understand your angst. It's okay. It'll be all right.
You need to. You've been a net fan for 10 minutes. You need to pump the brakes.
I'm not gonna pump
nothing either. Okay, all right. They ain't
I
done
refuse.
nothing. But I
If you
will
know,
say this.
if you know me
If
well,
I was
I
a
will
Net
never
fan,
put my brakes.
okay, I will say this. Though I
Mhm.
kind of thought losing Levert was going to be a hit. It's an upgrade for Levert. He's going to go
Yeah.
somewhere where he could start.
Mhm.
He could
And
get
they
his
have a
shine.
good
I don't
team.
know if this is his contract year. Yeah, they have a pretty good team. You can never count Indiana out.
Mhm.
Well,
I feel sorry for Allen.
Dom, he got he re-signed a deal. He got an extension. Karis
So he's
LeVert.
good.
Okay.
And I will say this, as a Knicks fan, I will take Cleveland's backcourt over the backcourt we got on the Knicks.
I'm
Them
sure
guys
you
are too
would.
small. Them guys are too small.
I don't care. They're better than the 2 point. They're better than any guards the Knicks have. I'm sorry,
Some
Bishop. You know I'm a Knicks fan.
Some nights.
And guess what? Before I go any further, R.J. Barrett was playing the 3 tonight.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I wonder where you heard that before.
He was
Sooner
playing
or
what?
later, it was gonna
He
happen.
started at the 3 tonight. Well, the matchup.
Let's keep it.
Let's since we done segue, let's segue into the Knicks.
Oh God.
Oh no, time. I'm watching
Tell Bishop to
garbage
stop
now.
hating.
Yeah,
They-
exactly.
They
Tell Bishop to
brought,
stop hating.
yeah, they brought back a veteran and BK native Taj Gibson.
Yes.
And yes, RJ Barrett he started at the 3 tonight, but that's more of a matchup situation. He matches up with Joe Harris at
No,
the
it
3.
ain't.
But they losing,
No.
so it
Doesn't
really don't matter.
It ain't about no matchup, Mark. The boy
Right,
can't
but
dance.
let me
Bishop.
finish. Let me finish. To the RJ Barrett thing, him and Randall lead the league in minutes. So Tibbs is still doing what Tibbs does, which is burn his starters. They look the team as a whole, the game before this one, they look really flat. And that, I think that's due to them playing extensive minutes, which is
How many minutes they playing, like what, 40?
No,
30,
36 and
38,
37.
38 for Barrett, and Randall's playing 37 tonight.
Yeah,
but
that's too much.
the problem to me with the Knicks is they got 2 starters that cannot shoot.
Right.
They got
Exactly.
2 starters on the court that can't shoot. You got RJ and you got Peyton, and those guys cannot shoot.
Tell Bishop to stop hating, man. I've been on here for 5 minutes. All he's been doing is hate. Stop hating.
Uh-oh.
But I kind of like,
you know what? I worry.
looking at the
I
Knicks,
worry
man.
more about.
Now go ahead.
I worry more about. I worry more about Julius Randle's back carrying this inept ass offense than I do his minutes. Let's just keep it again a buck. Without him, they might not even have the wins they have.
That is true.
Julius Randle raises his hand and says, "I'm tired." Let that minute. If you want to be a part of the minute, please, fine. Whatever floats your boat. But LeBron James is older than Julius Randle, and he played that many minutes last year. So let's get off the minutes, please. Without Randle, the Knicks might have 2 wins.
That is true. That's true.
I'm just saying.
My brother
And
Reggie
RJ
texted me. He said we played more minutes than that back in our days.
And you were probably their age.
Probably.
Oh, come on, guys. We're talking about young men.
Right.
But the fact remains, guys, before I go, because I'll be talking about football soon. The fact remains, 3 years ago, some of us watched R.J. Barrett in Duke. He couldn't shoot then. He can't shoot now. It's actually gotten worse. He's shooting 18% from 3-point land. Why are you still shooting threes? We had this conversation last time. Move your little ass in a little bit. Go to the basket. Do something. This guy's 0 for 2 months from 3-point land. If he never played it, he'd have no foul, no 3-point shot. He's got to stop, guys. He's gonna become a thorn in the Knicks' eye until he learns how to shoot.
Between that and the lack of defense, because he's horrible on defense. He's always in the wrong spot on defense. And it's like you need to go watch some DeMar DeRozan. He needs to go watch some DeRozan tape because his game is more
Mid-range.
shooting like that, and he's never gonna. That shot he got, the ball looks heavy to him when he's shooting from 3-point range, and it's like, he's never gonna be able to shoot 3-pointers. So you better perfect your game like a DeMar DeRozan. He's athletic enough, you could get to spots and pull up and drive to the basket, but shooting 3-pointers is never gonna be his thing.
No.
Never gonna be his thing. Play better defense, and it's like.
But Bishop, that's not his fault. The coach, I'm watching the game. The coach just told all of them, including him, keep shooting. When you open, take the shots.
No,
right.
That is on the coaching staff.
He wasn't saying he wasn't. Right. So what he was talking to the rookie. He was talking to the rookie because he passing up shots.
Bishop, it's the coaching. If you don't tell a player, listen, you don't need to shoot here. Nobody's telling him not to take that shot. If it were me. And I was the coach, and if you were the coach, you would tell him, "Listen, I don't want you taking any more threes." But
I noticed
nobody's bringing him in.
I noticed the change in his shot selection over the last few games. His shot selection has been a little bit more restrictive, meaning like he's not coming down and just jacking up or looking guys off and driving to the basket, because it's like, dude, you haven't earned the right to look off veterans. Like, you haven't earned the right to do that. Like, if somebody's open, you got to make the right basketball play. Like, you can't just, look him off. It's like, even though Peyton can't shoot, if he's open, you got to give him the ball. And all of this will be, huh?
Yeah. No, to Mark's point, Thibodeau did tell him, when Thibodeau put him at the 3, he was telling him, stop with all this nonsense of thinking you're Jerry West, Gail Goodrich, Walt Frazier. Do what you do. Go to the basket. That's why you're at the 3 now. Right. But no, he still was building a brick condominium, and people will get hyped because during blowout time, he shot a little better. But he done built so many projects over the last 3 weeks that it is what it is. Me and Bishop been saying this for how long we've been on here. I feel sorry for the kid. And the sad thing is, guys, is he was a number 3 pick.
Listen,
that's hard to justify.
He's going to keep taking those shots because they allow him to, and they haven't really told him not to. Same with Lonzo Ball. Listen, if you can't shoot threes, I don't want you to take threes. That's me if I was a coach.
Yeah, but as a point guard, even if you can't hit them, if you take the shots at the right times within the offensive scheme, I'm okay with it if you're missing them, because you still gotta take those shots because it keeps the flow of the game going, even if you're missing, even if you are missing. Because if you're consistently missing, then that means that your bigs and your rebounders feel like, okay, I got to get myself in position for a rebound because it's coming off. So at least they know what to expect. But with RJ, he coming down and jacking up like he got it like that. Like his game is like that. And it's just like, dude, like, so you play in Indiana, you hit a couple of threes in Indiana, and then you come from Indiana and every other shot that you shooting air balls, you shooting bricks, you shooting more air balls, more bricks. I'm like, dude, that's not your shot. It's not your shot. And all of this will be.
And think about this, Mark. Tonight was a commercial. Thibodeau's trying to be the non-Thibodeau we know. Remember, I told y'all, Jimmy Butler rode the bench on Chicago until he proved he could play. So by Thibodeau saying you're playing the 3, guess what? If this continues, you might be the 6th man. We can't look at where you were picked. Just because you was picked 3 does not justify us having to put up with this night after night. Now you can get your act together. Don't get me wrong. Jimmy Butler did. He became a starter and he became a star. But Thibodeau has a way of giving you them subtle hints first, and then it's going to be. It is what it is. If you can't shoot, you can't play shooting guard.
This is a golden opportunity.
And he showed one hint. He gave him one commercial tonight.
It's a golden opportunity for Kevin Knox. A golden opportunity for Kevin Knox. If you want to step into that silo, because again,
Kevin Knox is now, it's a wrap.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a wrap.
He been playing defense. He been hitting the shot. It's just like, yo, you got to just be more consistent.
He's still not a star.
I'm about to say, what, for a couple of games he's been doing that? Yay.
Right.
I'll give him a golf clap.
Kevin Knox is
no.
that one good, one bad, one good, one bad, one good. He
like
never strings nothing
no consistency.
Together.
It's better than what it's better than what RJ. It's better than what RJ.
Well, yeah, that's a bad comparison, Bishop. But yeah,
not exactly,
we should
and not exactly a ringing endorsement. Not exactly a ringing endorsement.
Right.
What teams are doing? What teams are doing now is they just sitting back in the zone when RJ is in the game. They just sit back in the zone, especially when RJ and Peyton are in the game, and then Randall is his offense. Now you gotta figure out how you're going to get through a zone because neither one of those guys can shoot, and nobody's respecting their shot, their ability to shoot the ball. So it's more mainly like 5 against 3 on the offensive end. So yeah, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem, and maybe when Burt comes back, I don't know. They said his ankle or something.
It's his ankle.
It's been like 5 games. I'm like, yo, like how long is the ankle sprain? Like,
damn, yeah.
Oh,
God. Like Kawhi get a cut lip.
That's our offense right there.
Anyway, guys, I gotta go because I'm taking off my coat hat tomorrow, and I'm gonna take me a ride to Myrtle Beach.
There you go.
Try to look at some.
You didn't invite
look
us.
at the water or something.
You didn't invite us.
Come on down, man. Y'all ain't leaving New York.
All you gotta do is come down, Mac.
I know. Yo, enjoy Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach is beautiful.
Yeah, I'm just going to get lunch. Yeah,
man, it's cold as hell in Myrtle Beach.
Still
be nice tomorrow.
Peace out.
Yeah, let's move on to the NFL. Will DeShaun Watson be traded? Should Houston trade him?
Hell yes.
Really?
No, they shouldn't. No, they shouldn't. But they going
to the Bears.
He should be
to the Bears.
Why shouldn't he be traded? I mean, I just want to know.
Because a smart organization would not trade a franchise quarterback. Now they're not smart.
Exactly.
So he's going to make them trade him. But the question was, should they trade him?
Okay.
The answer is no. They shouldn't. But they're not bright like that. So yeah, he gonna get his way up out of there.
Yeah,
I feel you, Chandler.
Chandler. The previous GM left them in a precarious situation. They are $18 million over the salary cap.
Yep.
They have no draft picks in the income in this draft coming up. They don't have a first round draft pick in this draft.
Understood.
So you need to make a move. He's the only viable piece.
No, you don't let JJ Watt walk. First of all, you stop paying JJ Watt. You let him go because he's never healthy and you're paying him too much money. So he can go.
But they love him. Houston fans love him.
It's not about that.
That's all well and good. But see, you always like to talk about the smart GM. Okay, don't be emotional. Okay, with all that nonsense. So a smart GM, unemotional like Mac, not worried about what the fans like. Let's JJ Watt go. Well, first what I do is I sit down with DeShaun and we figure out a coach. Then once we're on the same page with the coach, we sit down and say, listen, it's going to be a rough season next season. It's going to be rough. Here's what we're going to do. Here's our plan. Are you on board with this? If you're not, we will move you. But if you can hang with us, okay, you can, because we won 4 games with nothing this year. So, we'll win some. We won't win as many games next year, more than likely, or we'll win the same amount. We'll actually have a draft pick coming after that. You'll only be 28, so you'll still be in your prime.
Right.
And then you go from there, and you assess, with the fact that so many of these teams lost money. There's teams that's going to have to make financial decisions on players that they don't want to make. So there's going to be guys available that might not otherwise be available in a free agent market because of waivers, because of salary cap casualties. That may, what I'm saying? There's going to be better people available with the salary cap casualties. So you should be able to cobble together a 7-9 team.
Depending on the coach. And the GM.
On the coach. Yes.
And what players. Now, Chandler, they need help on the offensive line.
Yes.
They need a better wide receiver.
Yes.
They need a running back. Yes. Running back they can get though. That's easier to get a a decent running back compared to getting the other pieces. Would you try to trade JJ Watt?
No, I would sit down and say, listen, do you want to stay here? If he says yes, I'm gonna need you to take a massive pay cut. If you don't want to take the pay cut, listen, thank you for your services, but what we'll do is we'll cut you. No, we'll cut you now. We'll cut you real early in the process so that you can find a team that you want to play
get
for.
Your money.
Right. That's what I do because he's been the franchise icon. I sit him down and say, listen, I can't afford you. So this is the deal. Now, I'm doing this out of respect for you because you are a franchise icon. I'm not going to trade you unless there's someone who wants to trade for you, or would you rather pick your team in free agency?
Right.
Like the Panthers should have done with Cam, like they did with Greg Olsen, like other teams have done with popular players that played for them a long time.
They wanted to do what you wanted to do to Harden. They wanted to shit on Cam.
Exactly. So, but I don't do that to Watt. I give him the option and go from there. But yeah, JJ Watt either got to come back on like a $10 million contract with a lot of incentives, 2-year deal with a team option for the second year. Okay, based on games. Listen, it's based on games. No, we're not laughing
at you. Look at the comment. No. But go ahead, Chandler. Sorry about that.
Oh, Mac. But it's a $10 million deal, 2 years, team option, based on games played because he stays hurt now. Right. So his incentives are you got to stay healthy for 16 games, bro.
Yeah. So he needs to get if you play 12 games, you get X amount of dollars. If you play 14, you get X. If you play 16, you get X. So you know how they do it.
No, the only incentive is play 16 games. I'll double your money. That's the incentive.
He can't play 16.
That's the whole point. That's the whole point.
Yo, our brother Carl said Magna gonna be mad y'all cut JJ.
I know.
It had me cracking up. I'm sorry. You know.
But yeah, I like DeShaun Watson. I think Bill O'Brien was an eternal ass in the way he made moves as GM. You don't trade DeAndre Hopkins. You don't do that.
No.
You don't trade him for an injured running back who has a bad contract. That's moronic. And he did that. It's not right. And where would you trade DeShaun? I know
Jacksonville.
Dom just said he said Chicago.
No, Jacksonville. Chicago doesn't have what you want. You take the number one pick. You take the number one pick this year. You take the number one pick next year. You take a second and a third this year. So you give me 4 picks. All right. And you can have DeShaun Watson. But you're giving me 4 picks. Oh, and you're giving me a wide receiver. So give me one of your wide receivers.
I just want Trubisky gone.
I'm sure you do.
You should want the coach board, dog.
After what I watched, I said, you know what? F this team, man.
Yeah. You know what though, Dom?
I don't blame you, brother.
If Nagy hadn't been such a clown, right, and had given up the play calling sooner. Listen, I'm not a fan of Trubisky. I don't think he's been developed. I don't think he's developed as the way he could have. I think that's on I think more of it's on the organization, but a lot of it's on him. But if you look at how he played once, was it Laser, the guy whoever took over the play calling? He looked like a functional quarterback, right?
Yep.
He looked like, listen, he ain't gonna win you no Super Bowl, but he looked like a guy who could get you at least to the playoffs. So if they were smart, which they're not, Ryan Pace is a clown and Matt Nagy's a clown, they would do what Buffalo did with Josh Allen, send Trubisky to the same place that tore Josh Allen down and built him back up, right? Matt Nagy would give up the damn play calling, all right? And then you see what you have for one more season.
Right.
Okay.
And Trubisky is a mobile quarterback, so he can't make like the long passes.
No, he can't, and that's what
So you move the pocket around. You do bubble screens. Like you remember how the first season was with him.
Yeah, you run a
Right,
West
Tom, he
Coast
played
offense.
all right.
Yeah, you run a West Coast offense. That's a short passing game. You dump it off to the backs, you're using the tight ends, and you moving the quarterback around. Because listen, man, ain't nobody gonna go play for Matt Nagy. Nobody good. Let's be honest. Anybody going to that organization right now to play for them. So you need to try to maximize what you have. You got to maximize what you have. So you have to, being that you've seen. Listen, we've all seen enough of Trubisky to say, damn, if he had gotten the right coach and the right organization, maybe he would have been good.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. Carl in the chat, he said Pace is the one that needs to go. Yeah. Nagy and Pace are like Rodney Dangerfield. Put your heads together and make an ass of yourselves.
Hey, what's this Rodney Dangerfield, man? I like Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh my God, man, Rodney, he was the best, man.
Man. Yeah. Gotta throw my man in there like that.
Let's move on a little bit. Philadelphia Eagles fire head coach Doug Pederson. It's rumored that Doug Pederson may wind up with the Jets. Let's focus on why he got fired in Philly.
Howie Roseman, and Carson Wentz.
Right.
Pretty much. That's about it. You know, no need to go into speculation more than that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But does Carson Wentz, did he have a leg to stand on in the standoff with Pederson?
Yeah, that contract.
Okay. Besides the contract, yes, I understand he needs to play because you gave him $100 million.
Right.
Which was a mistake.
Right.
Okay.
Right. But it's ego now. Howie Roseman is trying to prove that he's smarter than everybody else.
He's not.
And he gave him that money. And now this is Howie Roseman has outlasted 3 coaches, bro. Yeah. Right. This is his 3rd coach that he done got rid of. All right. So that tells you, he knows where all the bodies are buried. All right. And he got the owners here. All right. They sitting around having lunch and shrimp cocktails and what I'm saying? They vacationing and what's that? Turks and Caicos, all of that. All right. So he's like, look, Jeff, check this out, man. Doug's a clown. You know what I'm saying? I gave Carson that money. You saw what he did in 2017 when he didn't even finish the season. If it hadn't been for that injury, he'd won the MVP. We'd still won the Super Bowl because the players I got. I'm the man, Jeff. I got you, bro.
So Carl, Chandler. So why did they draft another quarterback?
I was just about to ask that.
You know what? They drafted Jalen Hurts because what they did was they threw Doug Pederson a bone, not knowing that Jalen Hurts was going to turn out to be who he was. See, we knew who Jalen Hurts was because we watched Jalen Hurts. But if you remember the slander and the denigration of his game, even in Alabama and in Oklahoma, even though he was a Heisman Trophy finalist, Jalen Hurts never got credit for being able to pass. Oh, he's just a runner. He's just a runner. He's just a runner. He's just a runner, right?
Right.
So when Doug Pederson wanted him, right, they were like, let him have him. He ain't no good. Okay. Okay. Like I said, listen, Howie Roseman thought that Jalen Reagor was better than Justin Jefferson, okay? You can be wrong and pick the right player, just like you can be wrong and pick the wrong player. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. You know what I mean? That's definitely true. That's what I was about to ask you. Why did they choose? But you just answered. But I'm just saying, because you know what? That's very interesting. I'm trying to recollect something back that I read about a month ago, maybe a little bit more than a month ago. In regards to Roseman, you understand, and how he had to turn to Hurts. You understand the kind of hope to turn it around, their season around at the time. So that's why it's a little, to me, and me only, it's a little muddled. You know what I'm saying? How he's trying to now throw his support towards Wentz. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, I think
and you kind of count on Hurts to kind of save you.
But I think that Howie Roseman thought that Hurts was going to suck. Remember, nobody thought Hurts was going to be any good. Remember, everybody kept saying, why would you go to Hurts? Why would you go to Hurts? Even though they should have went to Hurts long ago, what they keep saying, don't go to Hurts. He's not going to be good. You got to stick with Wentz if you want to save the season, right? But then everybody saw the difference in the teams play with Hurts, and now suddenly you got a quarterback controversy. Can't have
So,
that.
Is Philly a viable job for a head coach? And
No.
what is he going to do when he gets there and he sees I got injury-prone Carson Wentz with a big-ass contract taking up a lot of cap space, and I got this talented young quarterback right here in Jalen Hurts?
I think the only guy who takes that job is someone who's not going to get one otherwise, who's desperate for a job, or is going to be Deuce Staley.
Ooh, damn.
Because Deuce Staley has been in that building forever. But the only of the hot candidates, the Salas, the Arthur Smiths, all those guys, none of them are taking that job.
No.
None of them are going to take that job because they're going to be saddled with Wentz. It's you know what it's going to be? It's going to be one of those things like the Jets did. Okay, when they brought in whoever it was and said you got to keep this guy, you got to keep this guy, you got to keep that guy. That never works, man.
Right.
It never works.
True that.
So I think it's going to be somebody who it's either going to be a retread, Deuce Staley, or some guy that we never heard of that we didn't really, we haven't really hasn't really been talked about. Who's like, I'll take a job because I just want to be a head coach.
Right. Gotcha.
And then you take the wrong job and you wind up 2-14.
Yeah, and never be a coach again. Right. Exactly.
Should the New York Jets hire Doug Pederson?
No. No.
The Jets should just take a break.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that.
Take a season off.
Take a season off. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, he should.
The question, you just answered, Chandler. Should the Jets hire Pederson? You say no, but there's that what's that guy's name? The GM, Joe Douglas. Yeah. Will he make that happen because of that connection in Philly?
Well, you know what? Well, I'm not going to say that's his man, but they did work together in Philly.
Right.
Listen, we've seen how this ends up when somebody comes in that worked with somebody else. Joe Douglas came in because he was Adam Gase's boy. What did he do to Adam Gase? Jack Easterby got brought into the Texans because he was Bill O'Brien's boy. What happened to Bill O'Brien? All right, listen, don't hire your friends, man. Don't hire your friends.
Oh man, Jesus. Well, yeah, I know. I'm looking at the same thing. It's funny.
Ronan said Howie also brought in Riga, who he thought was better than CD Lamb as well. Like I said, Howie's doing a good job. Deep six Pederson got a brittle quarterback and an effed up salary cap for 2021.
And he also said in the chat room, where's it at?
Yeah.
And the Jets should hire Pederson.
Yeah, you know what? Cut it out, Ronan.
Listen, I know people. I was looking at articles from New York media, and some were saying, "Oh yes, you have to hire Pederson." I was like, "Oh no, you don't."
No, you don't.
Oh god,
he's mediocre. He's proven to be mediocre. He's proven to me that he isn't a good coach without Frank Reich, who's in Indianapolis, and we see what transpired in Indianapolis this year.
But Mac,
what
he brought the Philadelphia organization their only championship.
Yeah, with Frank Reich.
With a lot more coaches, Pederson is a good coach when he has the right staff.
Okay.
Because what he is, he's a delegator. All right. He's a delegator, which is really what you want your head coach to be, right? You want him to get great assistants and let them do their jobs, right? And then he oversees the whole thing.
Right.
And that's fine as long as you have all of those assistants. When some of them leave and now he has to do more than delegate, like Max said, he's mediocre because he can't galvanize the team. All right. He allows his assistants to galvanize the team. And then he just steps in, says a couple of things, and just keeps it on, keeps the train on the track.
Right.
Well,
he's an okay offensive guy because he's an offensive guy. He's okay, like Chandler was saying, but Philly lost some coaches, and that's and it's bad because he was saddled with teams that had injuries, but like Chandler said, he didn't galvanize them,
right?
Especially this year.
Nope. I think it's gonna be Salah for the Jets, honestly, and I don't mind that.
That's not a bad move.
Yeah, I don't mind it because, like we said before, We saw him in Seattle with great players. Defense was great. We saw him in San Francisco. Great players. Defense was great. Now we've seen him the past couple of seasons where guys been hurt all the time.
And they look good.
Defense still played well. So a guy who can do it with top notch, then with the backups, then with the third string, and then with the guys he calling up off the practice squad, and they still play hard, look competent, very professional, and still good defensively. Yeah. That's a coach who can adapt. That's a coach who can get the best out of guys. Okay. So I don't mind that because he can. I think he's a guy who will get a good staff and be able to adapt, which means the team will be adaptable.
Yeah, that was the thing I was going to ask you, Chandler. As far as like, because he's a defensive guy, obviously. Who do you speculate? Who may he bring on as offensive coordinator for Darnold or whoever's quarterbacking at that point?
Hey, Brian Shottenheimer is out there again.
No, hell no.
No.
No, I'm being real sarcastic.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, yeah.
I think he'll get a veteran offensive guy. I think he'll get I think he'll see if Caldwell is willing to come.
Okay.
I that would be beautiful.
He's going to go for someone experienced or someone that he's seen work with multiple quarterbacks, even if they're a little younger, but has worked with some quarterbacks and the quarterbacks have improved with that person as like a quarterbacks coach or whatever, and bring that person on. You know, he's going to bring on a quarterbacks coach and offense coordinator that have some kind of a track record of making guys better. Even if it's just, okay, they went from, man, I don't know if he could play, to, he's okay. You know what I'm saying? That's still an improvement. Right. And I think he's going to surround himself with a veteran staff. Because he doesn't seem to me that he's one of those ego type of guys. Well, you know, I'm the new coach now. So
I can agree with that. Oh God.
Strip club Harden.
Yo, to segue off of football back to Harden, I was coming home and I'm in a cab and they got the radio on and all the announcers could say was, yo, strip. They said, yo, shout out to the strippers and IG models because we know how Harden does in the clubs.
You know what's terrible right now is the fact that we don't have the best, most well-run team in New York right now. The team that I trust the most to do anything, and I can't root for them because they got that clown Tony D'Angelo, is the Rangers and the Islanders. Think about it. The Yankees are being clowns in free agency, right? The Nets just made this stupid trade. You got the Knicks who they're not going to be good. Well, no, the Knicks because now they have a good coach, but they're still a bad team. Jets are terrible. Giants ain't good. Hell, we got the Liberty and Islanders right now. Those are the only teams we can root for.
Yo, Ronan is killing me. Listen, Brian Schottenheimer got fired by Seattle. He said, bring him back. That cat is more inept than Pederson.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, Seattle fired Brian Schottenheimer. Now, check it out. Statistically, Russell Wilson had one of his best years.
Right.
He threw for a lot, the most touchdowns he's ever thrown for. DK Metcalf, and the other wide receiver, they both had their best years under Schottenheimer. But Schottenheimer has never been a good offensive coordinator, in my opinion. It's just not good with him. And we saw how Seattle ended the playoffs.
Right.
What do you guys think about what transpired in Seattle?
I didn't see the game. You know, I didn't see. The only game I saw was one of the other ones, but I missed this one, and I was shocked that they actually lost this game. To be honest, you know, I thought that Seattle would go a little bit further. You know what I'm saying? Than not even past the wild card weekend. I found that to be shocking. You know what I'm saying? And I give Russ a lot of credit on his season and whatnot, and that's why I thought that this would be maybe not an easy victory, but a victory. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I got to say about that.
Pete Carroll's being an idiot right now.
I was getting ready to address that, but continue.
Because yes, what happened was towards the end of the season, He took the play calling away from Schottenheimer because he wanted to run. Well, you don't have the running backs to run like that. You don't have the offensive line to run like that. Let me say this again. You don't have the running backs to run like that. Listen, Chris Carson is a nice back. Okay, Chris Carson is not some guy who's going to help you win, who's actually going to win you games. Okay, unless you're passing the damn ball. And now because they're worried about the receivers, now there's openings for your running back. Listen, I don't like Brian Schottenheimer, but this is on Pete Carroll right now. This is on Pete Carroll.
Yeah. Carl said Brian is running Marty's plays from the 80s.
Yep. But they were working. They were working until Pete Carroll got involved.
Right. But here's the thing, Chandler. With the Pete Carroll, basically, he's making Schottenheimer the scapegoat.
Yep.
Because he did I watched a lot of Seattle games, and he made bad plays towards it, bad calls during the season at points, and that game, like I said, they should have won.
Yep. They should have
been better.
They kept trying to run against a team you can't run against.
Right? Doesn't make any sense.
when you have listen, DK Metcalf has to learn how to stop being a child when he's playing against a top-notch corner and figure out a way to get open and figure out other ways to get the ball.
Right.
All right.
Right.
What happens is he allows himself mentally to be taken out of the game, not just not physically, but mentally. Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey has a whole waterfront property development in DK Metcalf's head. All right. It's not just a house. It's not just a condiment. He's got waterfront property, bruh, up in there. Okay.
Hilarious.
So and listen, there's always one cornerback that kind of gets you, but if you notice with DK Metcalf, he has not played well against top-notch corners. Okay, that's on him. That's on him. So he's got to be better. They got to get a better O-line. Saroni, they got to get a better O-line, but DK Metcalf has to be better. But you had other receivers you could have thrown to. They chose to keep handing the damn ball off, and then the protection breaks down on this because it's third and forever. Hey Russ, make something happen. Nah, man, you ain't gonna win against the Rams like that. You're not gonna win against the Rams.
Nah, you're right. Yo, listen. Before you say anything else, guys, I gotta break out. It's been a special guest appearance by me today. Yay! But I gotta bounce. It's been a good. What's that again?
Boo.
What do you mean, boo? Shut up, fool. You just salty because your Knicks lost against my Brooklyn Nets. Psychology. I get it. It's okay. You'll be all right. Just get used to that. I'll just get used to it. Just get used to it. Just get used to it. It's okay. It's good. Everything will be okay. All right. You'll be all right. But with that being said,
all right.
There you go. Thank you, Chandler. let them hear it.
Right. I'm gonna holler at you offline, brother.
All right. Peace out, guys. Enjoy. All
right. As Ronan said, DK Metcalf has to work on his release footwork. He struggles in press coverage.
Yep.
He doesn't. He's a good receiver. He's big. He's athletic. Has good hands. I notice he doesn't run precise routes either.
No, I mean he has the potential to be a great receiver, but it's about his mental and doing the work. That's really what's coming down to with him. Is that so? Because if you watch him in these games against top corners, he sit over on the sideline when he's not getting the balls. And listen, I don't have a problem with it, but there's being upset and knowing that if you get the ball, you can do something. And then there's being upset. There's complaining because he's not throwing me open, and y'all gotta help me. Nah, bro, we ain't helping you. It's you and him. Beat your man.
Right, like Ronan said, you too damn big to be struggling in press coverage.
That's where the mental comes in, man. These cats get in his head. Have you noticed what his mouth protector is? It's a pacifier. That's all I need to know about him.
Right. When I see guys with that mouthpiece, I'm like, come on, man.
Yep. Exactly. Like seriously, that's what you chose? or did your teammates give you that because you whine all the time?
Yeah. Let's move on. Ronan's team, Dan Quinn, has hired. The Dallas Cowboys have hired Dan Quinn as their defensive coordinator. I had some discussions with people. My brother Reggie was saying that Dan Quinn was bad in Atlanta, and I told him, I was like, well, he didn't have players, going from the Super Bowl till now. Atlanta just never, even during their Super Bowl run, Atlanta just never invested on that side of the ball. And when he was in Seattle, he was a good defensive coordinator.
But that's the indictment, though. That's the indictment.
Right.
When you had great players, you looked good. When you had average players, your team was booty on defense.
Right.
So if you can't raise the level of the guys you coaching, then I don't want to hear about what happened in Seattle. Talk to me about Atlanta when you couldn't raise the level of those guys. Now, I do like the cornerbacks coach they just hired.
Right.
So my thing is it going to be where they're going to hire some other coaches on a defensive side to kind of supplement Dan Quinn to make it kind of like where all he really has to do is coordinate everything? Or is he going to be the one, really calling the plays and all of that? Because if that's the case, then I honestly don't believe we're going to see much improvement from the Dallas defense.
Right. Dallas has some talent on their defense.
Yeah, but I mean, tell me the great player on Dallas's defense.
What'd you say?
Tell me the great player on Dallas's defense.
I'm not understanding.
Tell me the great player on Dallas.
Oh, they don't have one.
Exactly.
Right. They have good players.
Well, exactly. And that's the problem for me. I need to see him take a good player and turn him into close to a great player. Right. And I ain't seen that yet.
Right. Dallas has a lot of questions. Are they gonna pay Dak? Are they gonna franchise Dak? Is he gonna be healthy?
I told you what I would do if I'm Dak. I told you what I'm gonna do.
What you gonna do?
I'm walking in and I'm telling them, listen, 120 million, 3 years. I want 75 up front, or you could trade me or franchise me and basically hamstring your whole cap and have to get rid of everybody. So it's up to you, bro. Give me my money.
Show me the money.
That's it.
Show me the money.
Let's swing back to basketball for a minute. Brandon Ingram, what are you guys' thoughts on him playing this year and the progression he showed?
He's doing it. One more season, and he's gonna be a premier. He's gonna be a premier player in the league.
Right.
One more season.
I like his talent. Something about him just I don't love him, and I should, because if you look at his skill set, there's nothing he can't do. He can shoot, he can rebound, he plays defense, he can pass the ball. But I don't love him, and I can't quite put my finger on it yet. I just don't love him. IQ. Maybe that's what it is.
His basketball IQ is not really like for somebody who's so talented. He gets drawn into he can pick up fouls like crazy, offensive fouls. Please, it's like, dude, like why are you getting 3 offensive fouls? Like that doesn't even make any sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like things like that. So, and he hasn't had to playing on the Pelicans. He hasn't really had to like think his way through.
Right.
So it's just been like reaction. When he starts becoming whiteboard material, once they become the team becomes a little bit better, then you're really gonna, then I think he'll really step it up. But as far as just like reactive raw talent, like he got it.
Yeah.
He got it.
Yeah, he does. He's amazing with his talent, and you know what? I don't know. It may be some of that is coaching, and I don't know if Stan Van Gundy's the one to coach that up in him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he gives them the freedom he gives him the freedom to grow, but at a certain point, it's like okay, well, you got to take your game to the next level. Like if you want to be a perennial player in this league, you got to get to that next level. Just you going out there and scoring like 28 points and, having like 7 assists and like 10 rebounds. You got to be able to do that every single night. And you ain't going to be able to do that from the perimeter every single night. You got to figure out how to get yourself to the line. You got to figure out how to score in other areas, how to be. And then sometimes when you really get to that level, teams going to start double teaming you. You haven't really seen any double teams. Then what you going to do? You're going to have to start thinking your way through it. So.
Right. Outside of JJ Redick, who's the sage veteran on their team to help him?
I don't think they have one, do they?
Rondo.
No, Rondo's
he's in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Who else do they have? Who did they get for
they got Steve Adams, but I mean guard wise and perimeter wise,
they got the dude from Milwaukee, but he's kind of a head case himself.
Oh yeah. What's his face? Bledsoe, right?
Yeah. But he's playing better. He's playing better, but it's like, dude, like, what you doing there? You should have been doing that in a situation where you could win a championship, but you refused. You refused to.
Yeah. Well, when Bledsoe's ever been on a good team, he suddenly starts wanting to act like he should be, he's the greatest player in the world, and he pouts a lot. Like, I should be getting, but put him on a bad team, and suddenly he starts playing like he should have on the better team. He's a weird cat. So I don't know if there's anybody, a sage veteran on there that can really help raise his game, because Steven Adams is a good player. He's a good dude. I think he's a good locker room guy, but he don't strike me as the sage veteran you really want coaching up, helping Brandon Ingram take his game to the next level.
Right. Well, he's not that guy. I know JJ Redick is helping some of the other guards on the team.
Well, he certainly ain't helping Ball shoot better.
Well, that's gonna be a long fix
process. Yeah. He actually, you know what? He actually is shooting better, and that's saying something from where he was, where he is now. He is better, but that just tells you how terrible it was.
He has bad form and mechanics. And I gotta start watching more games and look at his hand placement, because that was part of the problem.
He's still shooting too low. It's still coming from a weird spot. On his body. But it looks better. And again, we talking about from where it was to where it is, right? So, you know what I'm saying? If you had 30-degree burns over 80% of your body, and now there's only 30-degree burns over 40% of your body, yeah, it's better, but
Right. And then I noticed LaMelo has an ugly shot too. His goes in a little right now. It goes in better, and his shot selection was bad.
Yeah, but he's got a quick release. Is the thing with that ugly shot? He gets it off. When Melo's shot is still long. Lonzo Melo, it's ugly, but he gets it off quickly. And that's always helpful if you can get the shot off quickly, no matter what it is, because we've seen guys with ugly shots, but they got that damn shot off quick. Who score points with ugly shots.
Listen, Sean Marion has the ugliest shot, one of the ugliest shots I ever seen, and his stuff used to go in.
Well, LaMelo is very creative off the dribble though, because he's got a step back, a side step, like, and even though even though it's an ugly shot, like when it goes in, like I watched some of them Charlotte games just to see what all the brouhaha was, about LaMelo, playing and how they play. And they got a bunch of high flyers on that team, and he hooks them up like lovely. Like if you get going, he gonna get you the ball. So it's like, it helps them, and they don't have any pressure. He ain't got no pressure on him because nobody expects Charlotte to do anything. And now you do have a shooter with Hayward on there. Mm-hmm. This is a no pressure situation for him as well.
Right.
So it's like no pressure for me. I could come in here and drop 20, 30 points. There's really no pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and I like. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Bishop.
No, I was saying like I didn't. I still got my apprehensions with regards to Hayward, but I guess because nobody's expecting them to do anything and they're not really a threat. He's not whiteboard material, so it's just like, let him do what he do.
He lit him up.
Yeah. But you know what I like though is, well, the coach can't do it now because I forget who it was that got hurt. But what they were doing with Melo was they were bringing him along slowly. He was coming off the bench, getting his 15 to 20 minutes, but it wasn't, and basically allowing him to grow into his game. Listen, learn. Yeah, you're going to have a lot more freedom. Sometimes they put him in certain situations where he had to be a little smarter, seeing how he handled it. If he didn't handle it well, okay, pull him back, put the starter back in, and coach him up.
Rozier and Graham are starting. Malik Monk, I don't know what happened to him. He's chained to the bench right now.
Yeah, his game is not advanced, but I think somebody was hurt, so Melo wound up starting a few games. But I like the fact that, like I said, they're bringing him off the bench. They're not telling him, yo, you're going to start and you got to earn your minutes. I like that.
Yeah, right. Rozier, I think Rozier, like either Rozier or Graham would be losing their spot.
Well, yo, I got Knicks fans that they are so in love with Rozier now. Now, don't get me wrong. He's an NBA player. He could score a little, but Terry Rozier is not who you trade draft picks for.
I'm trying to tell you.
He's inconsistent. He was overpaid.
Too much. Right. He was overpaid.
It's like I watched some of those games and I'm like, dude, you missing layups. Like you go into the basket and you missing layups. Like, and then he goes through these funks where it's just like, dude, you can't throw the ball in the ocean.
Right. He's very, very streaky with his jump shot.
He got paid off of Bledsoe. That one series that he had, that one good series that he had when Boston played Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And everybody, it's like all of a sudden his value went up, his stock went up. And it's just like, and then he hasn't been shit since.
Him and Reggie Jackson kill me because, they putting up numbers. I'm like, stop it.
Exactly. The 125, 30-point game that they would have, and then they got like 12 to 15, like 2-point games. So it balances itself out.
Right. But yeah, Chandler, I like how they've been bringing LaMelo along, and Charlotte was a good landing spot for him.
It really was. It really, really was. It really was, man. It was just a good job of, well, yeah, you say sometimes it's where you land. And I think for him, Charlotte was the perfect place because like Bishop said, there's no pressure. Nobody expects him to do anything.
Right.
You can bring him along slowly. You can teach him the game of basketball, teach him how to play, teach him how to be a professional, teach him situational basketball. He has a high basketball IQ, which is great. But now you teach him how to use that IQ, in the right situation and stuff like that. So yeah, listen, he could have went to a worse spot than that. But let's see how. I'm looking at for year 3 from Melo. I want to see where he is in year 3.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Year 2 is going to be where people start keying on him, and then he may struggle a little bit. But year 3, okay, now that you see how they're playing you, what's your adjustment?
Right. I got one more for y'all. Trae Young in Atlanta. What's going on, man? I'm hearing all kind of rumors. It ain't vibing right with the other players.
That sounds about right. About right.
He
sounds about right.
Man.
Yeah,
he is. He is.
He is, but the thing is, he don't play he listen, I know nobody plays defense, Bishop, but he doesn't even try. And yeah, you getting your shot off. See, when he first came into the league, remember, and I said this, Mac, you remember this going back to college. He was a pass first guy who could score, right? I mean, he could score a lot, but he could always shoot. Right, he could always shoot, but his thing was passing. He don't pass no more.
Listen, they said you gonna be the face of the franchise. You know that some people call in the chat room. He said Elder Bar's son is wild. Me and him have shared texts, and he was like, "Yo, Elder Barge is wild."
You know what? They either that coach has to get him to understand that if you truly want to win here, you maybe need to take sort of the late Isaiah Thomas approach. I'm talking about late in his career, not late that he's dead. But
Right.
you know what I'm saying? You can score anytime you want. But some games, you know what you have to do? You have to be an assist guy. You gotta have to be a floor general. You know what I'm saying? And then the games where you need to, you can take over anytime you want. So we always have that in our back pocket.
And
But him
always,
coming out with 35 shots a game, yeah, it's not gonna work.
He
Well, it depends on when he's taking it. It depends on when he's taking those shots, because it's like it depends on when he's taking those shots. Because he can put up numbers, but if you pressing it and you really not that kind of shooter, like if Steph was coming out and pressing it, after maybe that third or fourth shot, he's gonna get it going. Trae Young ain't that kind of shooter yet, so it's like, if you still pressing it, you got to do something else. You got to get in that pick and roll. You got to get, you know what I'm saying? You got bigs that you can run these pick and rolls with, so that you get yourself in a groove. You don't have to be taking shots from the S and Hawks.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because I've heard rumors that the big that they have, they may trade.
Who's Collins?
Yeah.
Man, they better keep Collins. That boy can play.
Like Bishop was saying, they got Collins. Y'all got Clint Capella, who works. He's really efficient in the pick and roll. You know, if he's rolling to the basket, you give him a lob, or you give him that pocket pass, and he makes the layup or the dunk. Trae Young could have 10, 11 assists. You know, passing to them. And what's the kid from Duke? Cam.
Cam Reddish.
Cam Reddish is becoming all right shooting the rock. Atlanta should be better than they are, but
they started off with a pretty good record.
They did.
Yeah.
They started off with they were like number 2 in the East. They were like right behind Philly.
Right.
They were like 5-1. But I think what's happening is, like, I'm starting to realize, like, the Duke players in the league, like, yeah, it's very rare that they make an impact. Very rare that they make a lasting impact. Grant Hill was like an anomaly. Some of the rest of them, it's just like
Elton Brand was good up until he got hurt.
He was decent.
But he was good. Good, don't mean.
Yeah, and the rest of them, it's like It's like they don't last. They don't have staying power.
Corey Maggette had an NBA ready body.
And a 10-cent head.
And I'm like, dude, you could be getting 25-5 anytime you want and be an all-star.
Yeah, well, he was with the Clippers.
Right.
He was he doing it up in the big 3 though.
Yeah. Now you want to talk about a waste of talent, Corey Maggette. Pure waste of talent there, bro.
Yeah, me and my brother Carl used to be like, yo, what's wrong with this dude?
Yeah, some guys, it's just like there's other things. Them guys from them dudes from Duke, maybe basketball is not the most important thing for them, you know.
And some of them think they better than they are. Like the dude who's a talking head right now, Jason Williams. I can't stand him.
Oh my God,
he's always been
game anyway.
He's always been ever since he changed his name from Jason to Jay, because of the Jason Williams, the other Jason Williams. It's like, dude, he's a 6'10", 275-pound forward, light skin. Nobody's gonna confuse you with him. Like, you're a little pit bull looking dude. Nobody's gonna confuse the two of you.
And that Jason Williams is bad as the things that happened to him. He had a better career than you.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's just like, so that's what you hang your out. Well, I don't want to be associated with that. And dude, like, you don't.
Ain't nobody associating with you.
Exactly.
You don't even remember your NBA career.
Exactly. Idiot riding a motorcycle and jack up your leg, and now you can't play, and they void your contract.
Right. And I don't think he was gonna really pan out anyway.
He was
having problems because he was too small, and he wanted to be the man instead of being a team point guard. And I think at that point, was it Bill Cartwright was coaching or one of those guys? And it's just like, dude, you're a little guy. Do what I tell you to do, or you're gonna sit on the bench.
Bishop, is like I played in this tournament, and they had a nice power forward on the team. I was on the Chuck Wagon, he was like, yo, could I get one touch? And I kept looking him off at halftime. He was like, yo, if I don't get a touch, I'm punching you in your face.
Accidentally on purpose?
No, he literally said, you don't pass me the ball, I'm punching you in your face. And I was like, oh, you know what? Let me pass you the ball.
You had like 10 assists.
Right. And the thing was, I was missing too.
Oh,
I was RJ Barrett. I was like, hey, man, I'm not throwing the ball to you in the post. Give it right back.
yeah. You have you got, I don't know, like with the Pelicans, with the Hawks, all these teams that should be making strides, should be making strides in this season, especially in this season, because you're gonna have so many, opportunities to show people what you made out of.
Mm-hmm.
It's well, like, yo, you know what? I think it's early because it's what 10, 15 games. They had teams aren't really practicing like they normally do, and teams didn't have like a normal preseason. So
yeah, but this is when you can take advantage of that and maybe position yourself where you've won some games, you got some games in your back pocket. So when you hit that rough stretch, you still in the playoff contention. This is when some of these younger teams, if these guys were smart, and if they have good coaching, will take advantage of all this. Guys getting games postponed left and right. If you ain't got your game postponed and you're a young bad team, you better win your damn games, man.
Right. Hey. Y'all got anything else y'all want to talk about before we close out?
No, I'm just hating the fact that everybody's talking about the Nets and they haven't done shit. And it's just, I don't like that.
Well, we're going to look back at this trade, and the Nets are going to truly regret letting Karis LeVert and Jared Allen go.
Yeah.
They're going to look back at this trade and be like, wow, that was one of the worst trades in franchise history.
So you have, and I know you're going to say I'm a hater, but I said it when they got Kyrie and KD. So right now you got three guys who are going to take most of the shots, who unless they're in a perfect situation, can't lead.
Right.
And none of them play defense like that. None of them hold defense like that.
Right.
So
the only one who's a competent defensive player is KD.
And he's a help defender.
Right.
He's not really a defensive stopper. He's a help defender because he's 7 feet tall.
Right.
So it's going to be pretty interesting because before this trade, they were scoring, like they had one game, they had 145 points, but they gave the other team 141.
Exactly.
Yep.
And then their coaching, Steve Nash don't know nothing about no defense because he played for Mike D'Antoni.
Listen, all you have to do, Bishop, is watch the timeouts that Nash is not taking when he should. Watch the timeouts that players on a court have to call because they're like, dude, call a damn timeout. And now you add Harden to this. You get rid of team-centric players, guys who were willing to subjugate their games and their egos for the best interest of the team. So when you have a KD, and this is why they weren't really struggling without Kyrie, because you had guys like, yeah, I don't care if Kyrie's here or not. I'm going to still do what I have to do for the team. You basically got rid of all of those guys. Now you got a team full of, listen, I'm not saying KD's like that, but you basically have a team full of me guys now.
Me guys.
It's about me. Okay?
And guys think that, like I said, if they want to win and be successful, you're going to have to sacrifice stats in your shots.
Yeah. And the only guy who's proven he was willing to do that is KD.
Right. Not really. Not really.
He did take less shots in Golden State than he took where he was at before, but that was a function of that. But he did take more shots than Curry and everything else. So let's say that he learned from Golden State. That's what I'm saying. I said the only guy I would say probably is willing to change his game a little bit is KD. Kyrie's never subjugated his game for anybody, and neither has James Harden.
Right. KD, like when you watch KD's game, his game hasn't changed from when he was in OKC. Like he'll take 15 shots and still get you like 25, 30 points off of 15 shots.
Bishop, that's because Bishop, he's efficient from anywhere on the court.
Right. So it ain't an issue for him to take like his 15 shots a game because he still can get you numbers off of those 15 shots. It's like what Kyrie and James Harden. It's like when these guys keep talking about the only thing I want to do is win. The only thing I want to do is win. Just look at the history. Look at where they're coming from.
Yep.
Look at where they're coming from. Because it's like you can't tell me, like Kyrie, you can't tell me you wanted to win when you were playing with one of the most winning players in the NBA.
But no, he didn't like that. That's why he wanted to win.
But that means you don't want to win.
Of course.
And the same thing with KD. You're in a situation where you could potentially win 2 more titles if you stay in Golden State, even with
injuries last year.
Thompson, even when Thompson hurt. Thompson hurt, if he came back this season, OKC doesn't miss a beat.
Yeah, but
Golden State doesn't miss a beat.
The difference for Durant, though, Bishop, is because, suddenly championships became the arbiter of whether you were a great player or not. Now we all know we know that's not factual, but that's what the narrative is now. Because you got guys being talked about the Hall of Fame. Well, he won a championship, so now that's the bar. The bar now is if you won a championship, you're a great player. If you didn't, apparently you're terrible, even though that's some BS. So Kevin Durant's 2 championships in Golden State were being denigrated to the high heaven. Okay, nobody wanted to give him credit. Nobody wanted to give. I don't care that he won an MVP. The team was stacked. Blah, 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 blah. So if you buy into that narrative, which that narrative is why he went to Golden State, by the way, because he said, well, if the bar is championships, I'm just gonna go win some damn championships.
Which he did.
So now
he found out that wasn't the thing to do.
For him, it's not the bar. For him, it's not the bar. So the bar for him now is, well, you got to do it when it's just your team. Okay, I'll go to Brooklyn then. So again, for him, I understand why he did it. The Kyrie and the Harden piece, absolutely not.
Yeah, Harden didn't want to be a part of what is transpiring in Houston, which is they rebuilding,
building a good young team.
Right. Let's take a look at Harden and who he's played with. You got CP3, another great point guard. Couldn't play with him. It looked disjointed. Y'all got your numbers, but it looked disjointed.
You can go back to Dwight Howard. You can go back to Dwight Howard.
Right. They bring in Russell Westbrook, another great Hall of Fame point guard. It looks disjointed. So now he's with Kyrie and KD. How's it gonna look?
Same.
Disjointed.
Well, not really, because you got that offensive system that just says everybody just shoot and don't worry about defense. Just get up shots. So
him and Kyrie have been dribbling and dribbling and dribbling for the last 8 years. Nothing's gonna change with that.
Yes. Well, I think that's probably why Kyrie is out pouting, because he felt like his relationship with KD is going to suffer because now James Harden is coming back, and they're not going to feel the same about each other. So that's why he pouting.
Listen, what's going to happen is whoever takes the ball out, Kyrie and Harden going to push each other and give me the ball. No, give me the ball.
This thing is just, like I said, this is going to turn to be one of the worst trades in Nets franchise history. I'm sorry.
KD and Harden will play good together. It's Kyrie that's not going to be able to. He's not going to be able to tame his game down because he's used to being like getting the ball and doing the razzle dazzle and all of this other stuff and the 1-on-1 and so forth and so on. And it just, when you got a big three, that just doesn't work.
Okay, which means that the team is not going to be successful, which means that you gave up these young, good players who had potential to be great, like Caris LeVert, because Caris LeVert is going to be an all-star in this league, all right? As long as he stays healthy. He is going to be an all-star, and you know what I'm saying, he's going to be, I'm going to say he's going to be a top 20 player in a couple of years, and you're going to look back and like, damn, we should have kept him.
Wait a minute. So Caris LeVert, when he's been playing with the Nets, he's never faced like double teams. He's never been the focus of offense. So when he's got to face double teams and like constantly night after night, because he's gonna Indiana, he's
That's
gonna
why I
be
said a
that.
couple of years. That's why I
He's
said
gonna
a
be
couple of
that
years.
guy.
That's why
He's
I said
gonna.
a couple of years because he's gonna deal with that, and he may struggle the first year. But his basketball IQ is amazing. He's a good
Right.
young kid. He understands team basketball. He just has to learn how to play as the star of the team.
Right.
So that's why I said a couple of years. You give this kid a couple of years. I'm telling you right now, give this kid a couple of years,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because you got to go through it first in order.
Yes.
It's some things I can tell you all about it to experience it. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how to handle it, so he's got to experience it. He's got to fail, and then he's going to be successful. Because if you look at his career, he started off with hoopla. He may have failed, but then he adapted to that and got better.
Right.
Right. He played excellent in the bubble, and just look what the Nets did. First, they got rid of D'Lo.
But that was a good trade.
It was, but they got rid of D'Lo, and then they get rid of Karras, and Spencer Dinwiddie is hurt. So when he comes back next year, you got a little bit of
That's
a
gonna be even
problem.
worse. That's gonna be even worse. That's gonna be even
Somebody
worse.
got to be traded.
Oh, Dinwiddie getting traded, bro. Trust me, trust and believe, because he gonna run his mouth. He getting traded.
That's gonna be
He's been
worse.
running his mouth since before he signed the contract.
Yep. That's gonna be even worse because it's like, yo, so now you got rid of two core players that pretty much were the foundation of who the Nets team is.
Yep.
Karis LeVert and then Spencer Dinwiddie, and it was so
And Jared
stupid.
Allen. And Jared Allen. Because Allen's gonna
That's
turn
what
out to
I'm
be a
trying to say.
good
It's
player.
so stupid for them to throw him into that mix. It's like, why would you get rid of the one defensive big man that you do have? Because DeAndre Jordan, half the time, it's like he ain't even getting down the court quickly enough. And the only time you see him is when he getting alley oops on the offensive end.
Right.
So why would you get rid of your big men? Like, do they have other big men?
No.
Just what's his name? The older guy. Ronan said, "Would you guys say that Kyrie is the new World Be Free?"
Nope.
You know what? When he was still Lloyd, yes. When he was still Lloyd, because once he became World, he grew up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, when he was still Lloyd, oh yeah.
Because Lloyd did not meet a shot he did not want to take.
Man, listen, pass the ball. What's wrong with you, son? Ain't passing no damn ball. You know who I am?
They call me All World.
Oh my god!
I loved his game though. Shout out. World Be Free's from my neighborhood. Funny World Be Free story.
Oh my god!
One of my cousins played him. He said if he beat him, you're gonna buy my two cousins some sneakers on Pick and Ave. And World Be Free was like, okay, my cousin beat him, so he had to buy some sneakers. And World Be Free used to come to the BRC all the time. And
I was going to say with Brownsville, he used to. Yeah, I remember.
But yeah, I think Kyrie is even worse than World Be Free.
He is because you add in, like, right now, I don't have a problem with him not playing because honestly, they shouldn't be playing right now anyway. But the reason you're not playing is not the right reason. Like we said, we knew this was going to be a chemistry experiment that was going to blow up at some point. And up until now, the team didn't miss him because the core players that they still had were like, yeah, okay, Kyrie's not here, no big deal. We still gonna play.
Right, like Karis LeVert, just before he left, I think he had a 44-point game.
Yeah. So you get rid of them. Okay, yeah, this dude, listen. I think Mike D'Antoni engineered all this so he can get Steve Nash fired and they can go back to Mike D'Antoni playing his 7 seconds or less nonsense.
Hey, listen. It's not above Mike D'Antoni to stick a knife in anybody.
Hey, I'm just saying this screams Mike D'Antoni.
It's not above Mike D'Antoni to do his passive aggressive sneaky BS.
Yeah, make the situation untenable. The locker room is out of control. Steve Nash gets frustrated. Yep. I didn't really want to coach anyway.
Yep, he go back to coaching his daughter's soccer team.
and running
Telling
around in Brooklyn.
And watching this godson play.
Yep. You know what?
Right.
It wouldn't have shocked me if him and Dan Tony hadn't come up with this.
You hold my spot. You hold my
Yeah.
spot.
Yep.
Yeah. Listen, man, I need a job, but nobody gonna hire me. So yo, you take the job, and this is what we gonna do. I'm telling you, man.
And how is that working with Jock Vaughn and Amari Stoudemire as assistant? Steve is Mike D'Antoni firing them once Steve is gone?
Jock Vaughn, no, because Jock Vaughn is just a puppet. But
Yes,
Amari, and listen, Amari, he's just there to get a check, so he ain't gonna have no problem doing whatever Dan Tony tell him. So he'll keep them. He'll keep them, and he'll go get his boy Gentry.
Well, my cousin's boy is on there, is with the Nets also. Who's KD's boy, Royal Ivy. So funny how that works.
Yeah, it's I can't. I'm a net hater. I don't know if you know that or not. I'm a net hater.
We know that.
So I already saw it happening with just the two of them, with Kyrie and KD. James Harden's going to give you more buckets, but it's still going to be more drama. And I don't even know if it's going to necessarily come from him. It's just Kyrie is always going to be that guy. And like I said in the group, it's like, just think about this. KD hasn't even been activated yet, and you know he's capable of like supreme Mitchness, and he just been chilling. You know what I mean? So imagine once him and his mommy get started,
and his burner accounts.
Yeah.
Somebody in the group said he was at the phone store right now. Across from the water. Yo, how many iPhones y'all
got? He went on Fulton Street because they ain't got downtown Brooklyn no more.
He said, I need a lot of data.
Yeah. He's like, yo, this is good. I need the unlimited plan.
That's messed up, man.
It's gonna get real interesting.
Plan.
It's gonna get real interesting, and it's probably not gonna take much longer. It's probably not, because I'm surprised that he's been so easy breezy, like not really saying nothing, even though it did strike me. And you said, "Hey, well, maybe you just imagining things." It did strike me as odd that they put him in coronavirus quarantine, but nobody else on the team.
Right.
And they had they played Sunday night. Sunday night, and then Monday morning they put him in quarantine, but nobody else. Nobody else on the team. And all these other teams, all these other NBA teams, like Boston, Miami, all of these other teams, like when one player goes in quarantine, they like, okay, well, we got to put everybody else in quarantine because they had contact with this person. So how come nobody else on the Nets was in quarantine?
That is the $1 million question.
And then
I told you, man, what happened was, see, he got home, right? After he left the team, but before he went to practice the next day is when he got, he was in contact.
It doesn't happen that fast. It just happened that fast.
No, well, see, he got this app, because there's an app on your phone that you can have, which will tell you when you suddenly been around somebody with corona. So they walked in the house, his phone went off. He said, "Oh man, I got to go let the team know."
Right. Yeah, I guess. It was real weird that nobody else was in quarantine, only him. And then as soon as he is on his way back, then Kyrie decides that he needs to go on a short-term sabbatical for what, mental health?
Yes.
For mental health.
Yes.
It's like, yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be some payback for James Harden for his performance in Houston. Because I damn sure know that DeMarcus Cousins probably felt like slapping the shit out of him when he talking about, yo, we just ain't good enough.
Man, listen.
Guys here, we just ain't good enough. And
I know John Wall ain't feeling him because John Wall comments were, although they were it was vanilla comments, he still was like, yo, we come in here, these guys come in here, myself included, we come in here, we work hard, and yada, yada, yada. And I know under his breath, he was like, yo, man, I can't wait till they trade this dude.
Well, basically, from square one, he was like, yeah, none of these guys are good enough.
Right.
So none of these guys are good enough. I don't care what they accomplished. None of these guys are good enough. So, boom.
But see, that's why, Bishop, if you remember, that's why I said from the very beginning that they never should let James Harden come to be on the team. They should have sent him home from the very beginning and said, listen, when we trade you, we'll let you know, but go home.
Lose 40 pounds because you're a little chunky right now. And like Chandler has said before, he undermined the coach, which he wouldn't do to a D'Antoni, but you want to do it to the brother.
To the brother, yeah.
Yeah, but again, like if he had played with this coach before, then you could say, hey, there's something, but he don't know this dude. Like it
don't matter though. It don't matter. The point is, Stephen Silas, listen, you played for D'Antoni and you never won a damn thing, but you got to do what you want. Stephen Silas, a young black coach, getting his first shot, and you're gonna basically sabotage him? Really?
From the gate.
It's not sabotaging him because if he played with him, if he played under him for a season and then he was acting like this, then it's like, okay, well, this is but you haven't played one game.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
Kyrie, hold on, Chandler. Just like what Kyrie is doing this to Steve Nash. Go ahead, Chandler.
You know how hard it is for black men to get these damn jobs, okay? So the least you could have done was be a damn professional. That's the least you could have done. Was be a damn professional.
You're a professional for the asshole.
That's it. You've been a professional for every white coach, but you can't be a professional for the black coach. I'm not trying to get he don't get no pass with me for that. I don't care if you don't know. And by the way, Stephen Silas has been on that staff for a couple of years, so he did know Stephen Silas. First of all, he had played under Stephen Silas in the sense that Stephen Silas was assistant coach on that staff. So that he don't know him, that don't fly. Okay, Stephen Silas has been around the league 20 years. You know how everybody know everybody. This is all about James Harden. Just listen, man. I got nothing for you, man. I got nothing for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's to me, it's partly Houston's fault too, because when he asked for a trade, you should have figured out something, because it was clear that he didn't want to be there anymore.
Right.
It was crystal clear that he didn't want to be there anymore. So you're trying to like force him to be there because he's under contract or whatever. It's like, nah, that's probably not a good idea. So they were figuring, we could just wait it out and he'll forget. And it's like, nah, it's only going to get worse. And then he went out. We'll say I watched some of those games. He went out and, I'll give you 18 points. And I won't really do anything outside of just the bare minimum, just so that I could show that I'm not really being that guy, but I am being that guy.
He's a walking bucket. We're gonna be back on Friday.
Okay.
NFL playoff preview for the divisional playoffs. I wish you guys well. Thank you for riding with us and always supporting and joining us. This is In the Paint. I want to thank everybody in the various chat rooms. Ronan, peace, brother. I see you. Big Carl, I see you. Thank you all. My Tilden brothers that were on the call in my chat. Thank you. Kevin, I see you, brother. In the Paint, really showing sports.